Here's a sentence you've probably heard from someone you trust. Debt is bad. Avoid it. Stay away from it. It's some of the best financial advice most people ever receive. And at the same time, it's one of the most dangerous. Not because it's false, because it's incomplete. Half-truths are often more dangerous than lies. A lie makes you skeptical. A half-truth makes you confident. You believe you've learned everything there is to know, even when you've only learned part of the story. That's exactly what happens with debt. Most people are taught to fear debt. Very few people are taught to understand it. And that's an expensive difference, because the people who build lasting wealth don't necessarily avoid the idea of debt. They understand how it works. They understand when it destroys wealth, and they understand why some financial obligations create value while others quietly drain it. Debt itself isn't the lesson. Understanding the structure behind it is. You can't protect yourself from something you refuse to understand. Most financial education skips the most important distinction. Not all debt behaves the same. From the outside, every debt looks similar. You owe money. You make scheduled payments. You carry an obligation. But what happens after that depends entirely on what the debt paid for. The first type is consumptive debt. This pays for something that begins losing value almost immediately. A financed vehicle, a new phone, furniture, luxury purchases, vacation spending. Every payment buys something that becomes worth less over time. Meanwhile, your obligation stays the same until it's fully paid. The numbers slowly move against you. You continue paying today's income for yesterday's purchase. This isn't accidental. Many financial products are designed around this exact pattern because predictable monthly payments are extremely profitable for the company receiving them. The payment feels affordable, the product feels rewarding, but month after month, a portion of your future income leaves your pocket for something steadily declining in value. The second type is productive debt. Productive debt is very different. Instead of funding consumption, it funds something capable of producing greater value in return: a professional skill, equipment that increases productivity, tools that help generate income, a business investment. The important question isn't the size of the obligation. It's simple. Will this create more value than it costs? That's the question most people never ask. Instead, they focus only on whether they can make the payment. And that's why so many hardworking people slowly move backward financially without understanding why. They're making responsible payments, they're honoring commitments, but they're participating in financial arrangements that were never designed to increase their wealth. Not because they're careless, because nobody taught them how to recognize the difference. There's one sentence almost everyone has said before making a purchase: "I can afford the monthly payment." That sentence has probably justified more financial mistakes than almost any other. The problem isn't the payment itself. The problem is the question. A monthly payment only tells you whether something fits inside today's budget. It tells you nothing about whether it's actually a wise financial decision. A much better question is this: what am I giving up over the life of this agreement? Because you never pay just the monthly amount, you pay the total. And when all those payments are added together, the final cost is often far greater than people expected. Breaking a large expense into smaller payments changes how your brain experiences it. The total becomes invisible. Only the monthly number remains. That's why payment-focused thinking can become so dangerous. The payment feels manageable. The long-term cost stays hidden. Before accepting any financial obligation, step back and look at the entire picture. Ask yourself, will this create value in my future? Or will it simply require years of future income to support yesterday's decision? The people offering payment plans have already completed that calculation. The question is whether you've completed yours. Most people believe financial success depends mainly on discipline. Discipline matters, but understanding matters first. Many financial products are designed to feel normal. Approval feels rewarding. Small payments feel comfortable. Ownership feels like progress. Everything is structured to encourage one simple outcome: consistent monthly payments.
That isn't necessarily malicious. It's simply how many business models operate. The challenge is that most consumers only see the product. They don't see the structure underneath it. They focus on affordability, not long-term outcomes. The people who avoid financial traps usually aren't smarter. They simply pause long enough to ask different questions. They look beyond today's excitement. They study what the agreement actually produces over time. That knowledge isn't hidden. It simply isn't taught very often. Most people leave school understanding how to earn income. Very few learn how financial contracts affect future income. So they enter adulthood playing a game whose rules they were never shown. The result isn't laziness. It isn't lack of effort. It's incomplete education. Understanding debt changes how you make decisions. First, you stop thinking only about today's payment. You begin thinking about tomorrow's possibilities. Every financial commitment competes with every future opportunity. Money committed here can't be used somewhere else. Second, you begin seeing financial agreements as systems. Every contract was designed by someone. Every schedule serves a purpose. Every payment structure produces an outcome. Understanding the design helps you decide whether participating benefits your future. Finally, you stop confusing ownership with wealth. Owning more things doesn't automatically make you wealthier. Many possessions quietly demand maintenance, repairs, upgrades, insurance, storage, or replacement. Real wealth isn't measured by how much you own. It's measured by how much value remains after everything is paid for. Ownership creates responsibility. Value creates freedom. Those aren't always the same thing. That's what this conversation is really about. Not accumulating debt, not avoiding every obligation. Understanding which financial decisions move value toward your future and which slowly move it away. This wasn't a lesson about borrowing more. It was a lesson about asking better questions. Before accepting any financial obligation, don't ask, "Can I handle the payment?" Ask, "Will this decision leave my future stronger or weaker?" That single question changes everything, because every financial agreement transfers value in one direction or another. Either it slowly builds your future, or it slowly consumes it. Understanding that difference is one of the most valuable financial skills you can develop. The financial world will always contain opportunities and obligations. Some deserve your commitment. Others deserve your caution. Learning to recognize the difference is what protects your future. If this changed the way you think about money, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Aris Finance for more practical lessons about building long-term financial freedom, and I'll see you in the next video.